Now we're going to have a few words from Steve Turnberger on Sports Update. Steve, I understand it's been a pretty busy weekend at the University of Delaware.
Bob, down at the University, you're very right. A big weekend it was. First of all, the University of Delaware baseball Blue Hens under the legendary coach Bob Weiner went into the 1981 East Coast Conference Baseball Championships as the Western Conference champion. They hosted the tournament this past weekend down at the University. Had a lot of trouble. The first game of the tournament, they knocked off Temple on Friday afternoon, beat Westchester 9-8 on Saturday, and then they went into Sunday having to win only one of two ball games. Temple won a doubleheader over the Blue Hens, knocking them out of the East Coast Conference Finals and most likely a bid in the NCAA tournament. Nonetheless, Bob Weiner, his 7th straight 30-game win season, another great season for the Hens. They wrapped up their regular season today against the University of Baltimore down at Delaware. They have an outside shot at a NCAA tournament bid. Also, other big news down at the University, last Saturday, the biggest lacrosse crowd ever to see a lacrosse game in the state of Delaware. 3,500 fans on hand to see the Hens take on the #1 team in the country, Johns Hopkins. They lost the game 18-9, but it was the 7th straight East Coast Conference championship for the Blue Hens in lacrosse. They will be one of the tough teams in the East Coast for the next year and years to come. The Hens have a great program going down there. Finally, we get to some good news. The blue-white game down at the University last Saturday, the final score 22-19. The white, known as the defensive team, the first team D against the first team O. Head coach Tubby Raymond saw some great things. Quarterback Rick Scully had another great afternoon. John Davies, the senior quarterback, they will be battling for the starting job coming up in August. The Hens look to have a great year. But the big news, former Christiana High School football star Dan Reeder, formerly from Christiana, went up to Boston College on a full-ride scholarship this past year. He had a full ride at Boston College, turned it down, and he is back at Delaware. 2 weeks under the Hens. He had to learn that wing tee. He had a lot of trouble in the beginning. He rushed for 106 yards on 23 carries, scored a pair of touchdowns, also the winning touchdown with only 20 seconds to play. He will have to sit out 1981, but in 1982, look for Dan Reeder. He could be one of the greatest Blue Hen backs ever to graduate from Delaware. Also, in high school, Ed Braceland, your captain for 1981, the Delaware Blue Hens. He will be captaining that team. He's also the defensive lineman. He will have a great year. Let's run through that schedule very quickly. They will open September 12th against Western Kentucky, out at Western Kentucky. September 19th, they take on the Temple Owls at home. 26th will be a new team on the roster, the Princeton Tigers. October 3 is Lehigh. Biggest game of the season at home at 1:30. October 10th is Massachusetts at home. October 17th, Youngstown State at home. October 24th is Rhode Island at home. On the 31st, they have an open date, mostly because Villanova canceled their football program. That will be open. November 7th is Pennsylvania. November 14th is Maine. November 21st, the big rival, Westchester. And just added to the program, November 28th, they will be taking on Connecticut at home to wrap up their season down at the University of Delaware. Look for them to have a great year in 1981. Again, 1AA tournament has been expanded from 4 to 8 teams. The Hens, if they can win 9 games next year, they will be in that tournament. Also, big news out on the West Coast. The Phillies have had a lot of trouble, but Pete Rose went ahead of Hank Aaron on the all-time National League hits list. And Pete Rose is 40 years old. Of course, his birthday was a couple months ago, and I understand you have a birthday yourself.
You had to remind me about that.
Well, we had to. We had to let everybody know about it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
We're not going to talk about age, are we? Pete Rose is 40. You're still going. I don't know. We're not going to say how old, but...
What's this?
What do we have here, Bob?
Hey, this isn't in the script. Thanks. I got a cake here. It says, Happy birthday, Bob, Brady Wine Pastry, and one of our sponsors, from the Focus Delaware crew. Thanks, guys. That's real nice.
Is that you on the couch, Bob?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. And what is this young lady doing here? Hi, Allison.
She has something she wants to sing for you.
Oh, yeah?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob Weiner. Happy birthday to you.
Hey, very good.
Thanks very much. Can I have a birthday kiss? Oh, boy. That makes it all worthwhile.
Big night on the town tonight, Bob.
Yep.